Hey, what's going on, everybody? How we doing today? We are live coming at you, Mindset Monday. I'm one of your hosts, Dave Bergio, and as always, I'm here with the other host. As you see, we're switching roles today, Mr. Jonathan Federa. Jonathan, what's good, my man? How are you, buddy?
What's happening, brother?
That's
What do
cool.
we got?
What do we got today, man? Well, let's talk about overcoming limiting beliefs. Okay, let's talk about what are some limiting beliefs. How do they hold you back? What are some steps to identify these limiting beliefs? And let's just talk about some real life examples. So, limiting belief, man. There's that good old quote, man, that Henry Ford has out there. If you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right.
Yep.
Exactly. Guys, we talk about here everything. And look, the name of the show is obviously Mindset Monday. So if you're believing in something that, you're going to manifest a positive outcome out of it, or look, you're going to have that focus on, man, I can't do this. It's not going to happen. Shit's going to get in the way. You're going to go in that direction. I'll give you a good example. Coming up, and it's crazy to think that the shit went that fast, but coming up 4 years ago, I was almost 50 pounds heavier than what I was. And I started believing a long time. I started believing, well, it's my age. I'm older now. COVID set me back. We started this. It's a transition. Like, this is probably going to be my destiny. I'm probably going to sit here. I'm probably going to be overweight. Yeah, I used to be an athlete. It's just, it happens to everybody. You start filling your mind with these beliefs that that's your current reality, right? To where 4 years later, I'm not 50 pounds heavier. I'm practically in the best shape of my life still, and consistent and still doing the same work 4 years later, to where that, could it have been your reality if you didn't have that belief? Okay, I'm going to cut this weight. I'm going to create new habits and disciplines. I'm going to write stuff down. I'm going to start a calendar, right? They actually start compounding into other habits, into other beliefs that you have. Now it's to the point where, look, doubt's going to creep in sometimes, no question. But at the same time, when you have these beliefs, you have to have faith in the process. It also helps to have a plan, and you continue just putting one foot in front of the other and having small wins, right? And that's a story of me from a physical standpoint and a mental, I guess, but to how currently am today. What do you got for on this, man? What do you want to add to that?
Well, I mean, probably the most famous story about this, and I'm sure everyone's heard it, but it's worth repeating, is the 4 minute mile, right? No one could run a mile in 4 minutes, and then Rogers Bannister visualized himself doing it. Did actually went out and did it, and I mean that record stood for hundreds of years, right? He breaks it, and in that same year, other people break it. Why? Because they saw somebody else was able to do it. And when you can see other people achieve things that you want to achieve, it makes it easier for you to break it down and actually achieve that, right? And it does go to show you that you have to have the right mindset. Mindset is everything when you're going and you're tackling your goals. Um, Now, like, think about limiting beliefs like this too, like an internal thermostat, right? I've heard this being told a lot, and I'll tell you it's true. It's people will work up to your standards, and where your standards are, like, you have to find ways to consistently raise your standards because that's what you're going to get. All right. And I'll give you a great example. If you walk into your house and you like it at 70 degrees, okay, well, if it's colder than 70 degrees outside, your thermostat kicks on and balances out the temperature, right? If it's warmer than 70 degrees outside, the thermostat kicks on and cools it off. Well, your standards, okay, are like that. Your beliefs are like that. If you believe that you're worth $100,000 a year, okay, and you're used to working and making $100,000 a year, that's what you're going to get. Okay. And when you're tracking below that, especially if you're in like you're an entrepreneur or in sales, if you're tracking below that, you'll automatically kick on and start working a little bit hot, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more to get back up to that level. Same thing. If you go too far below, if you're tracking that you're making well above that, you might start doing some things to self sabotage unless you actually become self aware of this. And oh, guys, a lot of this is called an invisible ceiling, and this is true. I've seen it happen with sales guys. I've seen it happen with companies. Okay, you work until you get your standard. Okay, you work until you believe that's your worth, and you have to find ways to stretch that. That is one of the biggest and best things that you can do as an entrepreneur or as someone that's in sales, is figure out how to keep increasing that standard, because that's eventually what you're going to get.
Yeah, man. I like that old line, act as if. Act as if you're already where you want to be. Act as if you see yourself there already. Don't. And the other stupid ass line that people put, hey, fake it till you make it. That's horseshit, man. Like, people will see right through that. But visualization and manifestation, it's super important, man, to put those thoughts out into the universe. As weird as it sounds, it's everything that I've seen in my life, and especially from a gratitude standpoint, it starts happening. What's crazy when I know that something's really about to happen is you have all these test days before it. You go through all this pile of nonsense. You have this thrown at you. You have that thrown at you. And when a few years ago, you'd be like, why is this happening? This is the worst shit ever, man. Like, we're like, what's going on? Is the floor coming out from under us? And now it's like, yeah, man, it's going to happen. We're getting all this shit thrown at us. Yeah, keep it coming, man. Give me more. Throw more shit at me, please. I'm begging you. And then you get right out on the other side, and then you hit that goal, man. And it's that mind shift, too, where you understand when you're manifesting these thoughts and these things to happen in your life that you have to go through those test days. It's not going to give it's a way of saying we're not going to give this to you for free. You're going to earn this.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a good part of that. I don't beg for bad things, but having the confidence to deal with good and bad, right? Because people don't understand, like, good days are great. Okay. Bad days are really when you're learning, when you're putting things together, when you're solving problems, right? And you got to stack them. You got to appreciate both. And that's really it, guys.
Part of life, man.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We appreciate you. Share this with someone that needs to hear it. And we will catch you on Financial Fitness Friday. Take care, guys.
Be great, y'all.